So I received this letter in the mail. One of my mentors sent this link to me and was like, Dr. Pepper is looking for people to advertise for them, and they're going to pay them a certain amount of money at certain times per week. But I figured, so after looking at the link, there was no affiliation to Dr. Pepper besides the title of the webpage being Dr. Pepper. So I figured it was not legit, and I signed up because I wanted to see how far this would go. So I got the letter finally in the mail, and it came from, trying to hide my physical address. Oh, one second. It came from Amanda Egan in Hennessy, Oklahoma. So that's where the letter was postmarked, right? It came in like a priority packet and everything. Then I get the check, and the check came from, let's see. Can y'all see the check? This is how the check looks. And the check is for almost $2,000. And it came from Resource One Credit Union. That's the first flag, right? It should be coming from Dr. Pepper. Yeah, Dr. Pepper is a corporation. And it's going to come from Dr. Pepper. And then it's going to have like a affiliation to the bank that Dr. Pepper does business with. Whether it's like JP Morgan or Bank of America, Wells Fargo. That's generally how corporate checks come. Even your paycheck, you know. And the name that signed the check is Jim Berducci. There's an account number. There's like, the check came from Texas. Yeah, so those are some red flags because the package was shipped from Oklahoma. The check comes from this weird Resource One Credit Union. Dr. Pepper will never send you a check from a credit union. No legit business will ever send you a check from a credit union. That's the same thing as if they sent you a money-to-money transfer from Walmart. These institutions use legitimate banking services. So then I get the letter. It comes with an enclosed letter, which is also a next red flag, right? So this is the letter. I know it's going to be backwards. I'm not very good at doing this. So I'm going to read it to y'all. I'm sorry. So the first red flag in the letter is that the person that wrote the letter, their name is Andrew Cole. So far we have 3 different names, right? We have Amanda on the priority slip, which I guess isn't that big of a deal because you can have like secretary's assistant. But it's kind of, it's rare. You know, because even though somebody else is writing, they tend to keep everything consistent. So we have Amanda on the priority slip. We have Jim on the check. And now we have Andrew Cole writing this message. And it says, "There's prospective car wrap advertiser. Enclosed with this note is a check for $2,000. Please go and get it deposited and send a copy of the deposit slip to you. Johnson," which is my, you know, my last name, Johnson. Johnson SXC1. That wasn't done on purpose, simply a coincidence. So it's Johnson SXC1 at gmail.com. Red flag, gmail.com. Dr. Pepper is a legitimate organization. They will never send you a message from a Gmail, a Hotmail, a Live. They have their own domain. It's going to be at Dr. Pepper something. You know what I mean? It's rare and it's almost non-existent. Let's say it's non-existent. You're not going to find correspondence from Dr. Pepper from a gmail.com. They have their own domain. It's going to be Dr. Pepper and its affiliates. That's what the domain is going to be, not a Gmail, Pinterest or like a Live or a, you know, Facebook. No. LinkedIn. No. Dr. Pepper. So it says the funds will be available to your for withdrawal in the next 24 hours. You will deduct $250 for being your first week wage. And you will pay the rest of the money. The rest of the fund is for the payment to cover the car. As discussed. We've never had that discussion. I've never spoken to anyone prior to receiving this. But the day that they were alerted, I received the message. They did message me and was like, hey, your check for the first week has arrived. Please read the message and call me back, or, follow the instructions. So I responded to that number and I said, what's your corporate number? Who's the point of contact? Like, who can I call? And that number never responded to me. So anyway, it says you will be updated with the Decal specialist information and arrangement can be made for them to pick up the installed wrap at your place. And they say at with like the big, they used the symbol at instead of AT. That's an red flag. Regardless of the familiarity or the subject matter, in a professional setting, a professional correspondence, you don't even use contractions. You use real words at all times. At all times. So that's the next red flag. I have not found any misspelled word or any syntax errors. But speaking of that, I did find misuse of capital letters just like sprinkled throughout the letters. So they have like the funds will be available. Available is a capital A. Withdrawal within next is a capital, letters. Updated is a capital letters. Decal specialist capital. Those aren't proper nouns. So it's just like random words being capitalized. And these people are generally not native English speakers, so they do not know what they're doing. So those are, other ways you can like really pick them out. Anyway, so it's like email the johnson@gmail.com email address as soon as a check is received and deposited. Then it says regards, Andrew Cole. His name is probably some weird Adabalaba Husi. Like, I'm not trying to clown whatever, but he's not Andrew Cole. Like, he's 100% probably. If I say 100%, I can't say probably. He is 95% not American. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, so generally what they're going to do, so if you recall from what I read from the letter, they're asking me to take $250 of this money. So I'm going to deposit this check in my account. Then I'm going to let them know. They're going to tell me $250 is mine, and someone else is going to get the rest money to wrap the car. So that remaining amount is going to be what? It's going to be about $850. No, it's not going to be about $850. It's going to be like $1,075. It's going to be $1,075. Anyway, that's a lot of money, $1,075. So I will have to take that $1,075 and $1,750, not $1,075. Just so you know, that's what I meant, because I know what I'm saying. I'm going to take that $1,750 and send it somewhere to wrap the car. No one is going to come to me in person to pick it up. There's not going to be a legitimate business coming. No, they're going to give me instructions. I didn't follow through with it, but I've experienced something similar, like when I was trying to buy a car and I realized, like, what? They sent me, it was through eBay Motors, but then to collect the money, they were sending me to Walmart. And I just kept messing with them, and eventually they told me that I wasn't a serious buyer or something. So I'm figuring this is the same thing. And I Googled it, so it's confirmed that this is exactly the same thing. They're going to have me send the money via like Walmart to Walmart or any other credit union. And I'm going to send almost $2,000. I'm going to send that to some random person who will not have any of the names that I read. It's not going to be Andrew. It's not going to be James. It's not going to be Cole. It's not going to be Amanda. It's going to be a whole new different person with a whole new address in a whole different state. And essentially, the check is fake. That's the big takeaway. The check is fake. So you go deposit that check. You think you have money in your account. You have money in your account for like 3 weeks because the bank is going to deposit it, but they're going to vet it later. So if you do that and you take out the money that they want, which is a substantial amount of money, especially since there's no money, the bank is going to take that money back out of your account eventually. So in the end, you have given away someone almost $2,000 of your hard-earned money. Like, I don't care how you make your money. I don't care if you strip. I don't care if you sell. I don't care if you are an engineer. I don't care if you're a teacher, doctor. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I care if you flip burgers. People work hard for their money. Like shit. I really believe if nobody didn't have to work, we wouldn't work. We might have hobbies, fine. But the fact that we have to work is why people get careers. That's the honest damn truth. Because if I didn't have to work, I'll probably just do a bunch of other shit. You know? But we have to work. And that's your hard-earned money. So if you ever get into these type of situations, it's not that hard to figure out, people. Please, it's not that hard to figure out. The first clue is always that a corporation has its private domain. ExxonMobil is going to be at ExxonMobil. Wendy's is going to be at Wendy's. You know, like Amazon is at Amazon. So do not have anyone telling you they're from Chuck E. Cheese's and then have at Gmail. No. So that's like the first red flag. If the website is not a part of that company's private domain or an affiliate, which you can just Google, just do not go through with it. Like, no one is giving away free money like that. And if they are, there's a process, you know, like there's a legitimate vetting process. So just like, please be careful. I'm tempted to follow up and just tell them I deposited the check just to see what's going to happen. But I do not want them to like start blowing up my email addresses with viruses and all kind of shit. So that's why I don't want to do it. But I'm so tempted because I usually follow up with these people and just waste their time. But I'm wasting my time too. And lately I don't have much time to waste. So I think I'll end it here. But yeah, so the scam is, they also do it with renting rooms. They do it if you offer in services, if you're selling products online. The scam is really, they're going to send you a check. The check is going to be way overpriced. Like, it's going to be more than you need. They're going to tell you, take your portion. And then you're going to have to send your portion to somebody else. And it's like, why do I have to? That's the next red flag. Why do I have to send my portion? Why couldn't you just send that money to the person in the first place? A corporation will never ask you to be the middleman. That is dumb as shit. They will never ask you to be the middleman. So you don't ever have to worry about sending money from one place to the next place. They're going to do that directly. So that's another red flag. Like, please keep the red flags. The domain has to be the company's private domain. A corporation will not ask you to send money from you to send money to somebody else when they could just do it and have it on record. And then there's going to be multiple names on the shipment, the check, and the correspondence. The fourth red flag, the spelling or the grammar and also punctuation is going to be trash. It is not going to be consistent at all. You're going to find a lot of errors throughout and you'll know. So just keep that in mind. If you deposit this check one more time, it's going to be okay for the first couple of weeks. You're going to have $1,000, you're going to have $2,000. Yeah, life is good. You're going to send the money to whoever. And then what's going to happen? The bank is going to vet you and pull out $1,000 out of your money because they legit gave you money that wasn't real. So now they have to take it back. So this scammer just walks away with $2,000 or $1,000, however the hell much, because these things get real expensive at times. Just walk away with a couple grand of your money. And ain't shit you could do about it. So be smart, be vigilant. Like, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to, like, be a businessman. Just read. You know, if you take your time and you read and you just don't see fast money, you'll find a lot of issues and inconsistencies in these kind of scams. All right. That's it.